Good afternoon. The Kent Police Federation is calling for hundreds more police officers to be issued with a taser stun gun. The police union has written to the Prime Minister asking for their rollout to more officers, but some campaigners say the controversial stun guns, which deliver a 50,000-volt charge, are highly dangerous to the public. We've been asking people for their reaction to the idea.
I think that in certain circumstances, then yes, it's a good idea that, you know, they are a deterrent, but I'm not sure that everybody on the beat should be carrying one.
What's wrong with that? Yeah, they have to carry guns. Yeah, it's good to carry guns in case bad people is around.
It gives an aggressive image, like American police. We don't see our police in that way at all.
Well, Kent Police say they have no plans to increase taser numbers, but Chair of the Kent Police Federation, Ian Pointon, is in favour of more frontline officers being given them. He's on the programme this afternoon, as is Richard Taylor, who's an anti-taser campaigner. Thank you to you both for being here. Appreciate your time.
Hello.
First of all, to you, Ian, who should be given taser guns and why?
Well, I think we're seeing the number of police officers reduced. We've already lost 286 in Kent. We're seeing more and more single crewing of cars where officers are going to very violent calls. They're going alone without backup. And the reality is they need to be able to protect themselves and the public properly. And this is a way of giving them that protection.
Have there been situations where officers have responded to a domestic violence or drink-related attack and they haven't been able to protect themselves?
Well, of course, you've got the option to use a baton or to use pepper spray. Pepper spray doesn't always work. And, of course, the baton, people talk about the taser being dangerous. But, of course, once the taser is switched off, there are no ill after effects. If I hit you with a metal baton, which is what is issued to Kent police officers, of course, that's going to cause injury that's going to last potentially for several days.
Well, Richard Taylor, that's a point, isn't it, from Ian Pointon? Taser's less lethal weapon?
Well, certainly they're less lethal weapons, but they're not harmless weapons. We've just heard there that there are no ill effects after the current is turned off. But that's not the case if, for example, someone is shocked and they fall to the floor and injure themselves as they fall. And there have been also cases around the world where there have been ill effects which people have linked to taser weapons. At the moment, the manufacturer of the taser weapon that the UK police are using actually recommends that officers do not shoot people in the chest out of fear of causing problems to their heart. So,
well, Ian Pointon, on that point that Richard makes, what about those with pacemakers? You're not going to know if someone's got one.
Well, I'm told by the trainers that this doesn't affect pacemakers. I think we need to be careful that we compare apples with apples because we look at evidence around the world, and of course in America they use them very differently to how we use them in this country. We use them for officers to protect themselves and the public. In America, they'll use them for compliance. So if somebody won't get out of a car, then, of course, in America, they often tase them. We don't do that in this country. And, of course, this argument that when somebody's tasered, they fall to the floor and might hurt themselves. Well, of course, they could fall to the floor if they're sprayed with pepper spray or hit with a baton and equally hurt themselves.
Well, Richard, they have had more widespread use in America and more talk probably about them. What have we learnt from their use in America?
Well, that's so. I think we should be looking at how at America as the example and asking ourselves whether or not we want to have that kind of policing. And I think it's really a decision for everybody. The police have obviously got their view, but that's just one very important view. But really, it's for the whole society. It's for everybody to decide what kind of policing we want. Do we want a more Americanized style of policing, which is what I think we would go down if we had all officers on patrol, all response officers armed with these weapons.
And right now, Ian Pointon, on a Federation point of view, Kent Police saying they have no plans to increase the number of taser guns they have. So you want a hiding to nothing?
Well, I understand that. I understand Kent Police aren't going to do that. But just let me come back on this point about, the Americanisation of the police.
Well, yeah.
Well, hang on. It's an important point because, of course, we've gone through all these arguments in the past when we introduced batons, body armour, and when we introduced CS spray and then changed to pepper spray. These same arguments are always put up.
Okay.
What we know is the public get used to different styles of policing very quickly, and often the public will say, if the police need the kit to protect themselves and us, then give it to them.
All right, we're going to have to leave it there. To you both, thank you very much indeed for being with us. It'd be interesting to get people's thoughts on this. 81333, start your message with King.